I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy.
Welcome all, this
Had to
is the
work hard,
Australian
struggle just
Indie
to
Wrestling
be me.
cast, fellow
Had to rise
wrestlers,
up just so
trainees,
they could
event
see me.
support staff, friends, foes, and everyone in between. If you have a topic, you can reach out, of course, to the Don. The Don, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I finally recovered from the weekend. It was massive, like just nonstop for 3 days between work and wrestling. But before we get into that, just want a big shout out to our new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and we hope we earned another watch for this week.
Yeah, all the people that checked us out last week. Hope you're still watching and give us a subscribe.
Yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, so weekend, Friday worked all day, then hit Dude, Where's My Ring for the evening. That was at Seasonal Brewing Co. Great night. Everyone who comes down there thoroughly enjoys themselves. And it was great to meet Axe Massacre, who I found out is a fan of the pod and has watched before. But yeah, watching her go toe-to-toe with Felix Young in the pit, it was, I'm trying to think of the right word, just intense. Every time I see anyone do the spot with the skewers, there's chairs and chains and tables and doors and all sorts going on.
Sounds like the crowd got their money's worth.
They definitely did. It just even from that match, as well as the main event, the Great George versus Jay Taylor for King of the Pit.
Oh, I thought that was the main event. This is the main event.
No, the Axe Massacre versus Felix Young was just part of the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then like I say, the main event, King of the Pit, Great George versus Jay Taylor. Now, the thing I loved about this match was these guys were doing a lot of hold for hold wrestling, obviously, as well as beating the shit out of each other. And because my initial thoughts of the whole Dude, Where's My Ring concept was just death matches all night, which I'm not a fan of. And then over time, I learned that it's a variety entertainment show with sometimes there's blood, sometimes there's lots of blood. But just for that to be the main event and to still hold the crowd for that long throughout the whole match, and then huge pop at the end for the win as well, it just goes to show that the entertainment value is just so highly held for
regarded. Well,
highly regarded.
I guess it's highly regarded, and everyone. It's highly regarded, and everyone can see that around Australia as to how fast Dude, Where's My Ring is always selling out. And as we've noted before, people are taking notice of Dude, Where's My Ring, because it is quickly moving up the ranks of those 65 or so wrestling companies around Australia in the views. You know, people are getting eyes on it.
It's definitely in the top 5 of the country for sure. But then obviously the second match of the night, which is actually the spiritual main event of the show, was DNT versus Papa Germ and Buster Rust. And we beat up some kids and won the match. But it was good work with some of the youth. See how they go, see what they can do.
Top 5, you say?
Sorry?
Top 5, you say?
Top 5, yep. If you review all of the numbers and the views and all that sort of stuff, and from basically what's been said on the internet, and no one's disputed it. So
fair enough. You let us know in the comments if you think Dude, Where's My Ring is in the top 5 feds in Australia. So yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. And then so that ended quite late. Obviously, as the show starts a bit later because it's more of a late night kind of feel, kind of vibe.
Yep.
Went home, went to sleep, got up early, and on the road for setup for Evolution. My day started at 8:30 in the morning. I didn't get home till 12:30, so that was a slog of a day.
What did you do in between, Don? There's a couple of hours you missed. Were you abducted by aliens? Like, were you missing time?
No, there was no missing time. It was all used up getting prepared for the show. Do a lot of work. We put a lot of effort into the setup of the show, so it's not just chucking a ring in a hole. It's lighting, sound, the stage setup, the ring setup, all that sort of stuff.
What you do when you set up a show and stuff like that. Yeah, it's intense. Yeah, everything that goes into a show.
anyone who's done it and tries to produce a high level event knows what I'm talking about. But for those who don't know, it's just making sure everything, you can just throw shit together or you can do it right. And the difference is hours of work. But yeah, sorry, Evolution.
Hours of work equals many more customers.
I hope that's the plan. But yeah, we had Evolution at the Cannington Exhibition Centre and Showgrounds. Great night all round. Everyone had a great time. Made a packet on merch with a new DNT hoodie that has been released over this weekend.
Oh, that's a goer, is it? That's a hot cake seller.
Yeah, a hot seller. Where it's just about at the point where if you want one now, you're going to have to order a specific size so that we can get it made for you. But yeah, so at Evolution, we had the Invitational Tournament Block A and Block B is in full swing. Saw some incredible matches there. The Coastal Championship, Havok from South Australia, who's like one of the founders of South Australian wrestling and EPW as well. Guy's been around forever.
Yep.
Rampage, yep. Was fundamental in the early days of EPW.
Yeah, he sure was. Havok and Jag coming over and certainly setting us straight and showing us like this is how you do it, and and really keeping close tabs and yeah, it was really good to have them take an interest and help us do it right.
And even still, after all these years, he's in probably the best shape of his life, taking on.
I think he's in better shape.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the best of his life. Taking on some EPW new blood in Rogan Kargas for the Coastal Championship. It's a killer match. The EPW Vimeo should be released Wednesday morning. They've touted on their socials.
Put the deadline on themselves.
I didn't post it. I just saw it and went, well, good.
Right,
that way
yep.
you get to see my match before the end of the week. And then we also had DNT versus David Storm and Bruno Nitro, which is now setting up for David Storm versus Bruno Nitro at Hell or High Water.
Oh, what the hell happened?
You have to check out the Vimeo.
Oh.
You have to check out the Vimeo. It all went down. And
where's
then,
Bruno from, of course?
He's from Brazil.
Did he yell at him in Brazilian? Did he do anything in Brazilian to upset David Storm? He's not from around there.
I tell you what, you're gonna have to jump on the Vimeo to find out. But it's all crazy stuff that happened, went down, and then obviously the main event. Obviously a bunch of other matches that were very instrumental across the night. But the main event, James Hartness versus Hayden Zenith versus Marcus Pitt in a ladder match. And if you are anywhere on the internet, you will see that there is the and new EPW champion James Hartness. Also, the EPW Tag Team Championships were on the line, and we saw the Tag Team Champions ATO, Julian Ward and Kaz Jordan, take on the purveyors of work rate, Chris J. Lazarus and Elijah Henry. And we also have an ANU Tag Team Champions, which is purveyors of work rate. They did it in a very, very nasty fashion. But again, jump on the Vimeo, and you will see it all.
Yes, it sounds like a nasty tag team when you put those two together, CJL and
Elijah Henry.
Elijah Henry. I was going to call him Young Henry, but that sounded kind of like weird, like he was like one of those like Disney movies or something. Young Henry. So young Elijah Henry. Shall we say the New Japan enthusiast, and really shows in the ring, and it really shows on his opponents after they leave the ring as well.
This is definitely true. But his youth and CJL's experience have mashed together to create the brand new tag team champions in EPW. So it's the show is full of twists and turns and ups and downs and just lots of entertaining value. And just a quick shout out while we're here to CourtsideCulture at CourtsideCulture on Instagram, who was good enough to come and do some phantom video throughout the crowd and watching the show. Just not your regular angle.
Walks.
Video. Sorry?
The ghost who walks.
The ghost who walks, yes, Phantom. The Grey Ghost, yeah, he was out and about in the crowd doing some filming and has released some footage, and it's really cool what he's done and put together. So if you get a chance, check out at CourtsideCulture and see what he's done. Very cool.
And Don, you mentioned the main event earlier.
Yeah, so, oh man, what a night. Like, what a match. I personally witnessed the decimation of 3 human beings, basically. But no, some of the things I saw on the night was Hayden Zenith jamming James Hartness into the corner with a ladder and throwing it down, running off the other side, running up the ladder, hitting a leg lariat on James Hartness, falling to the outside of the ring, standing up, the crowd losing their minds. I saw Hayden Zenith get F5 while standing into a standing ladder. Saw James Hartness throw a ladder into the ring, cross the second rope into another standing ladder, setting up a table, and then them climbing and battling over that until it ended up with James Hartness pile driving Hayden Zenith onto that ladder table. I guess ladder table is probably the best way to describe that, except it didn't break. But yeah, it's then the highlight of the night obviously was everyone seeing James Hartness finally climbing to the top of the ladder, pulling the belt down, and winning his first singles championship in his career. And people losing their minds. All the dogs were barking, all the people were jumping up and down. James Hartness does a victory lap through the crowd, high-fiving and jucking and jiving with everyone in the crowd, and it was just a great vibe. If you missed it, you can, like I said, you can check it out on Vimeo. It should be released this week. And you should not have missed the show. If you did, go and jump on.
You shouldn't have missed the
or
show.
if you're in Perth, obviously. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're not in Perth, jump on the Vimeo and check it out. It was definitely worth the price to watch or the price to attend, either way.
Yeah, there was a big surge from the crowd. I think it was a few reawakenings ago when you at the first Super Show, there was the Jimmy Blue Belt tag going around when he was chasing the Intercommon, what is it, the EPW Coastal Championship? Yeah, Coastal Championship. There was that hashtag Jimmy Blue Belt going around. The crowd really got behind him. And so they've been waiting for that first singles championship from James Hartness, who appeared in Sydney last weekend in the PWA Rumble.
PWA Rumble.
Hopefully most of you saw him appear in the PWA Rumble, and he's also on the IWA show.
Yeah, he did they do like an IWA tour.
Yep.
And do a few shows up the coast there, from what I understand. And
so James Hartness is on that show, the new EPW champion, James Hartness, and congratulations. And a long wait, but a well worth wait for his first single titles to be the EPW championship. So that was cool to see.
Straight to the top.
Straight to the top. So that's cool. They beat Marcus Pitt nonetheless, and Hayden Zenith. Yep. So, there's also a bit of didn't defeat no Jesse Lambert. Let's just say that. Harsh.
Marcus Pitt did defeat Jesse Lambert,
and rightly so.
Yeah, but so that was Evolution. Great night all around, and then again packing down. Didn't get home till after midnight, and there was other people that still stayed on and did some unloading at the warehouse, and it's a big undertaking, and I say anyone who's set up a wrestling show knows that's how it goes.
Hey, that just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
As Wonder Woman says in The Fast and Furious, this is who we are.
It does say that. So that was my weekend, which was a great tie-up from much better ending than last week when I was trying to buy my WWE tickets.
Nice segue, Don. I like that.
Yeah. So that information about that, there was still even more people blowing up and trying to get tickets after our pod and talking about it. But it looks to me as though...
the tickets are still available, or more coming out?
More coming out. It says that the 3-day combos are all sold out. So everyone who wanted tickets to all 3 days has gotten them. Well, not everyone who wanted them.
Well, it says 3-day. So 3-day ticket allocations are exhausted, and then individual event tickets to be released at a later date. Now, we've been looking at a few subreddits, and they showed that TKO have started to do this to release multiple day combos first to try and make that the only option.
Yeah.
And then only a handful of single tickets are then left over.
If you just go one night rather than all three.
If you want to just go for one night rather than all three, if you just wanted to see, say the Crown Jewel, or if you just wanted to go to Raw, like I was originally just going to go to Raw.
Yep.
So so they got me. Me. They fooled me, Jerry.
You see, you're going, they fooled me, Jerry. You want to hit fooled more. They fooled me, Jerry. You see the difference?
I'm not going to say it like that.
Just a suggestion.
And got me down for the 3 days instead of one. So well done, TKO. You burnt me. So now I'm going to burn you back. It's been from what we can see on the subreddits, there's not a lot of info on a release day, how long they wait to release them after the 3 to 4 day things. So you probably want to just try your luck and keep looking back daily, get on those emails and let them know when so they can at least inform you as to when the date comes, because it won't be on Raw, it won't be on SmackDown, it won't be on WWE programming, limited tickets still available. It'll just be random. It might even be the day of the show. That's the day of the show, of the Chappelle show. That's how I got my ticket, because when they set up all the cameras and all the broadcast stuff, there was a few tickets left just either side of the cameras, and that's how I got my Chappelle show tickets to see Dave Chappelle on the day.
Yeah, but I imagine for that particular one, they weren't sure exactly how much room they would use, being a film crew from overseas or whatever. So there's like, oh, well, there's a bit more space.
Yeah,
release a few more bits.
But that's what I'm saying. You can look out for extra releases like that. But you can also look on websites like Tixel and the second market for second tickets, because you might find someone who can't go, who's got a 3-day ticket, can't go one night, can't justify it to the missus all 3 nights.
Spend the money and got in trouble.
Got in trouble. Now has got a, list on Airbnb or something like that. So no, go to ticket sites like Tixel, even eBay, the Dirty Bay, the Evil Bay. Get a look on that. Gumtree, you never know. If you want the tickets,
don't buy them on Facebook though.
Yeah,
someone
Facebook market.
Don't believe them.
Yeah, just be careful on the old Facebook marketplace. Try and go through reputable places like Tixel and like the Evil Bay. Like it's always a risk. It's always a risk. But email, get that notification from Ticketek. And keep looking on the secondary market like Tixel for that poor boy who can't go anymore, who's not done enough homework or not done his assignments right. He's fucked up, and his parents have relisted his tickets back on Tixel, the Don.
Luckily, it won't be me. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully I'll see you all there. And it's going to be a great weekend. So that was my weekend of pro wrestling with Evolution and Dude, Where's My Ring? But how was your weekend of pro wrestling?
Well, being over in Melbourne, I had a VIP ticket to the Ballroom Brawl, which was pretty cool, the VIP experience.
I saw that you were in the VIP section. I saw it on Facebook. I saw Jarvis standing up on a balcony with his arms wide, and then in the corner was a dude who was just sitting there having the best time, and I was like, I know that dude.
There was some guy marking out in the corner for Jarvis, trying to make it all about himself like those silly little marks do. And that was pretty cool. They had the guy came and tapped us all on the shoulder pre-starting to the event. This was pre the Relentless pre-show even. He's like, hey guys, do you mind? We're coming in. We're going to do something up here. So we thought maybe a brawl, or maybe someone was like doing an interview up there or something, because it's could
or a big dive or something.
Oh no, come on, man! Like, Yeah, no,
Why
there's a long way to the ring, and it's like it would be straight through the commentary desk. So yeah, you know, maybe if you get a Daredevil later down the line, but I wouldn't wish it on someone. It was pretty cool. Jarvis did the entry from up there, so yeah, Jarvis came up and did the big entrance, so that was amazing. So that was pretty cool. A bit of the VIP experience. So what else? But so the whole match was, the whole evening was pretty cool. Had the like private bar, and you know, you could see all the way around. There was like some corporate boxes the companies had bought. What else? And just some rooms where you could just sit and chill. I think maybe a party had got this VIP room. There was like a manager's box, so I guess that was for the crew, like that would, you know, wrestlers and stuff like that. So I just picked a cherry spot. Didn't know Jarvis had also picked that cherry spot. And there's all of a sudden I was blinded by the lights, and Jarvis was up there next to us telling us all how he was going to win the Ballroom Brawl. So that was pretty awesome in itself. Well worth the money. Well worth the VIP experience at the Melbourne Pavilion. And I'll tell you what, they had 1,300 plus there. And
huge numbers.
They could fit more, but it was getting bang on. Like it was down in the merch section. It was getting pretty shoulder to shoulder during the breaks, which was good. Great to see. I caught up with Lucas Fantasia, of course, friend of the show, Lucas Fantasia, and dude was loving it. Like, you know, he was loving it. Taking heaps of photos, selling heaps of shirts and stuff like that.
Magic.
So that's what you want to hear from the boys. You know, they're all like doing well and, you know, making money and getting their name out there. So you know, that's what you want to hear. But let's go through the matches, because the matches are what makes the card. And I hope you watched it live on YouTube. I got in the comments a few times quickly while it was going, just to see how it was going. And it was a solid number of about 300 to 400. Really peaked out during the Ballroom Brawl at about 380, 400. And they got about 2,500 watches within about a 12-hour period, which is fucking really good. Hey, like, you know, just smashing it, getting it out there. Lots of new eyes on Melbourne City Wrestling. And it was a good, I tell you what, it was a good event to have lots of new eyes on it, with the matches of Caveman Ugg and Erica Reed versus Culture Eugenia Moko. Now that was a good match, good character match, with Ugg and Erica as a tag team. That works super well. Definitely just check the video out for that, even if you just watched for that. Versus Culture. Now that's Eugenia and her brothers from up north in Queensland. So that was pretty cool. So, you know, if you like sort of like family dynasties, sort of that, man, we have that in our own backyard. Hey? So, you know, you got to go see that. Next was, I tell you what, next was Ricky South versus Tommy Knight as to who would come in the last place, number 20.
Cool.
In the battle, in the Royal Rumble Ballroom Brawl. Ballroom Brawl, you know. And Tommy Knight won that. So that was pretty cool. So Ricky South, I think, came in at about, I think maybe entrance number 6 or 7 from memory. Just going off memory, quite early. So that's where, like, you know, the reverse would have happened. But that actually helped Ricky out, but I'll get to that later. And next was
it would suck if you were the guy who won that match. So that you're the last guy to come out, and the guy you just wrestled came out one before you. So why do we have
that's it, hey, like,
he came out quite early,
So that was, well, you know, who knows if he drew that number or that number was left over from the draws, and that's what remained for the loser of that match. A bit of kayfabe. I'm just trying to make a bit of kayfabe. Excuses. Anyway, next was MCW Tag Team titles. Mitch Waterman, Ryan Rapid versus Anth Carver and the Clydesdale. And both great tag teams to watch. Mitch Waterman, Ryan Rapid, of course, with the history between them. Ryan Rapid, I think, punched Mitch Waterman in the face during the match. He thought it was all going to explode and go down, but they ended up actually becoming the MCW tag team title winners.
Cool.
Which were
they vacant beforehand?
Well, yeah, which I was just about to get to. So beforehand, the Parea came on the screen to like huge applause and stuff like that, and unfortunately had to vacate the tag team titles, which was a bit of a bummer for them, but which only means they can be doing well overseas. Too well to be coming back to MCW. So that's actually good news for the Parea in the end. That they're doing well enough over there that they actually can't fulfill dates at MCW and have to vacate the titles. So while it's unfortunate, and while they said, well, they may not be tag team title holders on paper, they still are in spirit. So, look out when they do come back. That'll be a huge eruption. But yeah, even the tag team of Anth Carver and Clydesdale was good to watch. Them sort of reconciling and making their way off, as a sort of more together tag team. Next was the MCW Intercommonwealth Championship, Adam Brooks and Lucky O'Leary. So this is another high-paced, hard-hitting match because Adam Brooks seemed to bring that out in Lucky O'Leary. Not a lot of showboating from Lucky O'Leary in this match. I guess he just had his hands full a bit. There was a bit of a fake out punch from Adam Brooks, and Lucky jumped out of the ring, but then he tried it again, and Lucky didn't move, and so Brooksy knew, didn't psychologically have Lucky where he wanted him at the point. So that was good to see. So that was another good match.
Much interaction with Lucas Fantasia on that, because I know they're running the angle with him being his butler.
I tell you what, there was, and you can also hear Lucas Fantasia on commentary, because Lucas Fantasia was commentating on the side, getting Lucky O'Leary his Lucky Juice, which of course is his bottle of water, copping a few commands as well from O'Leary now and then. But you'll also be happy to know that Fantasia made it into the Ballroom Brawl later.
Oh, awesome! Love to hear it.
So that's a good thing. So that's what you want to hear. So that was the Intercommonwealth Championship, and Adam Brooks retained over Lucky O'Leary. But it was a good match. So check that out. Next was a bit of an intermission. So it was drinks, and then back to the Sacrament with Edward Dusk versus Rocky Monero. I always get this wrong. Rocky Monero. And Rocky's got this spot where he goes to throw his opponent into the crowd. He's like, get out of the way. The crowd always gets up and moves, always falls for it. One day, it'll be interesting to see what happens when they just remember that that's what Rocky always does every event. They don't move, and whether he has to throw a human being at him and then have a discussion with HR in the morning or something like that. So that'll be interesting. But then they took it all outside and battled all around the arena. And look out for the young lady fanning Edward Dusk down with her shirt. I thought she was going to give him a cold. By the way, she was fanning him down, trying to get him back up and into the match. So that was a good match between Edward Dusk and Rocky Monero. You should definitely check that one out. One of those, it's the Sacrament, so a lot of weapons usage, but a lot of ingenious ways, of course, from the mind of Edward Dusk. Next was the Ballroom Brawl.
Yes, how many people were in this one? Was it 20 or?
20 people in the Ballroom Brawl. Now, there's really only one entrance you need to know about, and that's number 1, Robbie Thorpe, who lasted from number 1 all the way to number 20.
And won it?
He what, sorry?
And he won it? He won the Ballroom Brawl?
Well, he did, because Jarvis thought he'd won it, was standing there. They even played his music.
Oh, shit.
I think once they play your music, hey, that's the end of the night.
That's it. You won.
You've won.
If
You've won.
production says this is the winner, play.
Yeah. If you've made, that's it.
Someone just got fired.
Someone's getting fired, or you've won. You know, that's the choices. So Jarvis was standing there, unfortunately, with his music playing. Robbie Thorpe hanging on by let's see if I can fucking do this. Hanging on by the tips of his fucking ankles.
Just the tip.
The tip. Pulled himself back up by the tip of his toes to the tips of his fingers, back into the ring, all 6 foot something of him. So that was. So you can fall out of the ring and both arse cheeks can touch the floor, but not both feet. So you can pull yourself back up. Yeah, the other end of the leg. It was the wrong end of the leg for Jarvis, but the right end of the leg for Robbie Thorpe. So he pulled himself back into the ring, knocked Jarvis out, and then in the middle of the ring is Robbie Thorpe, number 1. Now, Ballroom Brawl winner. Now he has a anytime cash in to take on the MCW champion, and he can wait till Ugg's not the champion, or he can have a go at Ugg whenever he wants, I guess. So that's his prerogative.
Time will only tell.
Time will only tell. So yeah, apparently 2,500 of us watched it in 12 hours, and I know at least another 1,300 probably need to watch it. 1,300 plus need to watch it who were there on the night. I went home and watched a little bit of it that night myself, just to see what it was like and stuff like that. The vision.
So that was on YouTube or Facebook. You saw that?
So that was on YouTube. So that was YouTube Live. So hopefully that's something that MCW continue to do in the future, is go live to YouTube. So for someone like myself who doesn't like being in a crowd, if I can buy front row tickets or VIP tickets, I will. Or like some boxed off area.
It's always better to be there. Like, it's great that if you're not able to get to that venue, or you're in a different state or a different country, you can watch it live on YouTube. If they continue to do that kind of stuff, it's great, because there's a feeling when you're watching something live compared to when you're watching it taped. Like, you can't walk away, you can't look away, you can't leave, because it's happening right now.
Well, just going through the comments and stuff, it felt like, like you go to some events and you're just like, ugh. You go through the motions almost. And, don't lie. Like, we've all done it. Yeah. But, like, this one, and some of the events I do with you guys, right, in the past, the first Super Show and that, stuff feels like it matters and stuff like that. Like, even being in the crowd at MCW Ballroom Brawl felt like it mattered. Felt like people around the world were watching. It felt like people around Australia were definitely watching, People were in the comments section talking about their favourite wrestlers. People from all over the country, he couldn't get to Victoria, who had no chance of being able to be there live, were able to watch it live. And that's really what how wrestling needs to be showcased, is live at the moment. When that 3 count is happening, that's when you need to be showing wrestling, hey, when that happens, hey, because in the day today, when people are getting it out there, you don't want the first people in the front row to be getting it out before you do. You want to be getting it out, and you want to be having the eyes on your product as it happens, hey, and that's how wrestling should be promoted, should be presented, and that's how it 100%. Should be shown.
Yes, in every state, in every territory, should be live.
Yep. And it's not hard to do these days. It's not hard to do these days at all. You could probably do it to some degree with. You need someone who's dedicated, who knows what they're doing, but it's not hard to do. It's not hard to learn. It's not hard to manage a 4-channel switcher that'll get you live on YouTube. The stuff is out there. It's so readily available, and it's good to see so many people having a crack and going out there and doing it on live. We see other shows going live, Wrestle Rampage, APW, I think a few others, PCW.
And you need the people, though, that when they're doing it, they're not doing it just because they can go, well, I did that. They're doing it because they want wrestling to look good, to look top notch, to look world class, top tier
Yeah.
on the internet all around the world for people to see. So they're actually practicing it. You know what I mean? They're watching wrestling and seeing how it's done, like top level wrestling, and then going, all right, now we want this to look not the same as in like
No, it doesn't have to be replicated perfectly.
Presenting it in a similar fashion so that it's taken more seriously, so that the industry can get to the point where there's people who it is their fucking job.
So it's digestible to wrestling fans. Where was I? I saw one wrestling fed, and the camera was just going round the ring, constantly round the ring, you know, and that was their one camera, was just doing 360 of the ring. I was like, if you're watching this at home, you're like throwing up. You got no perception of where things are in the ring or how things are happening in the ring and the wrestlers also have no idea which way to. Usually you play to hard cam, you know.
Yeah. Where do you play to? Yes, it's a 360 environment, but if you want to get a certain shot, like you're doing something and you hit a move and you pause and you look around for like create the ambience. If the camera's behind you, because normally it's over there, but now then you saw it over there before, but actually before it was in front, but now it's behind. You need to know where those cameras are, where those angles are. The hard cams up there, you're guaranteed if you pause to that section, they can get that shot. But if you know where the guys are on the floor, you can hit a move in a certain spot that you know that when you sell up from it, there's a camera on your left and there's a camera on your right, or there's a camera on your left, but there's also one behind, so you don't worry about that one. You know, there's ways and means so that everyone's smartened up to what they're actually doing in regards to when they're on the camera, when they're in the production area, when they're in the ring. It's all got to play together to create something special so that it all falls in place. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen just like, oh, I was right there at the right time to catch that thing. No.
You rehearsed.
He planned to be in that spot so that because he knew that during the match they were going to hit the big move and he was going to sell up, because it's how wrestling is supposed to be presented, so that the people watching it at home can get that feeling.
Yeah, and I feel PWA and MCW are super close to that. You know,
Slam. I'm telling you, Slam.
Yeah, Slam.
The one. Like I'm a little. I used this word and I realized it was the wrong one. Like jealous is probably not quite right because it has an inference of like.
Are you envious, Don?
Envious as well has that little bit, but they are watching some of the Slam stuff on YouTube. It just popped up again. It's on YouTube. YouTube is the streaming platform that you need because people can sit on their computer, they can sit on their phone, or old motherfuckers like me can sit on their couch, and it's on every smart TV.
And
YouTube
it's suggested to you. The new ones are always suggested to you.
Because I've logged in with my account, it's right there. They know that I watch wrestling, and it's just here it is.
They know where you live.
Yeah, exactly. But the way that Slam is presented, it is TV. It is something that you can watch, and it's presented well. It's high quality graphics.
It's easily digestible because it's filmed in a way that you're used to watching wrestling and stuff like that. Not even AEW is filmed in a way that you're used to watching wrestling. They're trying to fix that. And I know it's the old Kevin Dunn way, but if you watch the person who's doing it at don't be doing that.
None of that,
so the
please.
new TKO way sort of is what you want to be heading for. And even with the up a bit, we can see all your hair care products in the background. There we go. There you go. So the new TKO way. I forget the guy's name who's doing it now, but that's sort of what you want to be going for. Even that bouquet shot of the champions in the ring with the crowd is
even that
achievable.
But even that is not. They haven't flipped the game. They've just gone, this is what you used to, and then here's a little sprinkle of extra, and you notice it, and you're like, oh, this is cool, you know. It's not. They've
started. I tell you what, MCW did is they started having the walkthrough from the back. So they had Adam Brooks walk through from the back. They had a radio receiver camera So they were able to do some really cool shots with that and follow Edward Dusk and Rocky Monero out around in the crowd. The lighting guy had a bit of a job just trying to get the lights on, but he found them and they put the lights on them, so that was good because it was just a bit hard. I just was worried a bit like the picture was going out and some of the people were just shadowed in the picture. So, you know, I just was worried about that. Someone needs to go out there. And it's just, all it is just a little light and follow the cameraman behind them and hold a little light up just to get that extra bit of light for the sensor next time. It just takes another, like, maybe someone from the Relentless Gym can follow them with a battery light, you know, and just follow them and shine the light on it so the people around the world can see the likes of Edward Dusk and Rocky Monero fighting in the crowd, or can see a bit more like of the entrance when people were coming in, because they did some cool entrances at Ballroom Brawl. They had Rocky Monero. It was Rocky Monero versus Edward Dusk for the Sacrament, right?
Yeah.
And this lady with the violin, I think she's famous. I swear I've seen her on like Facebook. She came out, did her violin. I thought it was for Edward Dusk. It was actually for Rocky Monero. So
cool.
You know, so it was, they had some stuff going on like that.
And that's one thing that you don't see in independent wrestling or Australian wrestling, which is cool, is the live backstage promos and stuff. Like where you would see.
Well, I tell you what, you don't even see a lot of pre-tape backstage promos.
No, that's true. Well, that's again Slam. Slam had that pre-tape stuff when I watched their show. They had, while the guys were entering, which I always thought their entrances were good for.
That's right.
Announcers to like fill in the story so someone's walking to the ring. It's like, well, last show we saw Joe Bloggs punch this dickhead in the face, and they were best friends for 20 years, and we can't believe it. You know, that adding to the story in an extra way. I noticed that the Slam did it. They had the pre-tapes where they were like, I'm Joe Bloggs and I'm excited and I'm ready to crush this, you know, and then it cuts back.
Do you know what that's of? Yeah. Superstars. You know, like that old Superstars while they were walking to the ring and they would cut a promo as they were walking to the ring. It's not, and it's very easy to do these days. And Slam are well onto it and
Yeah. And even just the transitions, like the live feed and then it cuts to the corner and then the thing pops up inside the graphic and it's, well done. Again, it's not hard, but it's not easy. But if you put that effort in, it looks magic. But I'm talking about back in the day, you'd have The Rock backstage and they'd cut to The Rock and then the crowd would go, and you would hear it and it would be like live, you know, and he would say something, you know, the millions and then the crowd and millions of The Rock's fans, like it all gelled so well because it was a live promo that the fans were seeing as well as they were cutting to TV or the pay-per-view or whatever. It just, little things like that. I'm sure, I bet you Slam's working on that right now as we speak because they've got that sort of build up. And again, I know that with that sort of thing, they're filming in giant arenas where they've got a corner they can go to, you know what I mean? Where there's not 100 people walking around or two guys getting dressed behind the camera, you know? So there is limitations, I get it, but I look forward to, and I feel like things are moving in that direction in general in Australian wrestling at the top end. At the bottom end, it's just the same old shit. But at the top end, I feel like they're pushing that way, and it's exciting. And I hope everyone else is excited about this. And if you're not watching Slam, MCW, PWA, EPW, Wrestle Rampage, you need to get onto that.
Yeah.
And also, these sort of people that go and open their own shop because they can't make it as a star on these shows, maybe look at how you can help build Australian wrestling and assist in these places in some way that's not just all about yourself.
Well, that's right. Listen to the man with 20 awards behind him. It's not all about yourself. It's what you can achieve along the way. And, you know, there's too many new places opening up. You know, like we're seeing new places open up all the time. It's, you know, obviously there's like limited spots, but is there really a need for some of these auxiliary shows that are going on
Yes.
of a weekend. Some of these posters we've been seeing coming out recently, like we're not going to name names, but I'm sure you know some of the ones that we're talking about. All you have to do is go back and go through a few of the what's on weekends at the end of the dog segments. Like we try to include everyone, try and be fair and community minded and stuff, but sometimes it's painful.
It is. But yeah, so that was Ballroom Brawl.
Yeah, that was Ballroom Brawl in a nutshell. So that was my weekend. The Don. What's on next weekend?
It was a really smooth transition.
This weekend coming up, we have in New South Wales, Newcastle Pro Wrestling's Rumble in the Jungle, Friday, 11th of July, which has actually become a staple for those guys. I've seen advertising for that over the years. So
that's another Royal Rumble.
Another Rumble.
Beautiful.
Pro Wrestling Australia have Mounties 8 on the 12th of July on the Saturday. Australian Wrestling Superstars South Coast Collision, Saturday, July 12th. And we move our way on up to Queensland, where Venom Pro Wrestling is holding Overload 9 on July the 12th. Dropping back down to South Australia, RCW has 300 on Saturday, July 12th, which I believe is their 300th show, which is a great milestone to be celebrating. Over in Victoria, PCW, Professional Championship Wrestling, has Next Gen on the 11th of July. Malice Wrestling Federation Catalyst is on Friday the 11th of July as well. And MXW Wrestling's Pivot City Showdown, Scratch the Future, and Web Wars on Friday, July 11th.
Oh, that's
Saturday,
with
July 12th, Sunday, July 13th.
That's with that guy from the WWE. What's his name? Spanky.
Spanky, okay, yep, making his way all the way down to MXW. Peak Pro Wrestling Show have 100% free wrestling party on Saturday, July 12th. And in WA, New Horizon Pro Wrestling have the School of Hard Knock Showcase on July the 12th. So that is the wrap around the country for this weekend. Please, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you again to the new subscribers if you made it all the way through for a second time. And then thank you to our regular subscribers who keep up with the show on the regular. If you want to support Australian local wrestling, make sure you get out to any of the shows I just listed or save some money and go to the next big one in your area. If you really want to support a specific wrestler, much like everyone did in WA this weekend for DNT, make sure you go to make sure that you go to the merch table because anything you buy there, money goes directly to the wrestler that you like and it helps them on their wrestling journey. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe if you can. Generic like, subscribe thing here. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.